So we're talking about the African history that has been hidden from us biblically in the scriptures, because we have been taught a narrative that has been passed down through the tradition of slavery. And we cannot fault our forefathers because they didn't have access to the information that we had. For many generations were made illiterate. And we were told what to think. We were domesticated for this kingdom, formed. But I can show you, and I've shown you, the African origins of the biblical scriptures. If you look up all the names, whether it's Adam, we were just discussing Seth, Eve, because Adam was the evening sun. Adam is the God of creation, but he was conquered by the God of war. Seth, the Lord of the Redlands. The sons of men. Men is the black fertility god. So in Genesis 6, when it says, now it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with men forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. So what you are hearing or witnessing here is just like it was spelled out in Genesis 2 with the river, right? In which we went through. The name of the first was Pishon, is the one which encompassed the whole land of Havilah, where there was gold, and Havilah is the son of Cush, right? And the gold of the land was good. Bdellium and onyx stone were there. If you put those three things together, the name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one which encompasses the whole land of Cush, which are the descendants of the Nubian nations. The name of the third river is Hiddekel, hidden. It is the one which goes towards the east of Assyria. So this is the connection in Genesis 2:10. The fourth river is the Euphrates. 2:10 through 2:14 is the river water route. This is in Egypt. This is black history, but it's been hidden. Revelations 22, when he showed me a pure river of water of light, clear as crystal, proceeding from the throne of God and of the Lamb, in the middle of its streets. See, the river is the street. They travel up and down this river just like they do in Venice. That's where they got it from. And on either side of the river was the tree of life, which bore 12 fruits, each tree yielding its fruit every month, and each tree yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations, and there shall be no more curse. See, when he said, I'm the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and end, the first and the last. Blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have a right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. Outside are dogs and sorcerers. Dogs are loyal. They're blindly loyal to their masters. They're happy with what their masters give them. They're eager. Stockholm. And the sorcerers, meaning the masters of television and media, controlling what you think, tricking you, deceiving you, and sexual and moral, where we live in a provocative time rather than a procreative time. And murderers and idolaters and whoever loves and practices a lie. I, Jesus, have sent my angels to testify to you of these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. This is two races. The root is in Egypt. The offspring of David is the Jew. The bright and morning star. The bright is the bright light that was used for navigation along the route, R-O-U-T-E, from Nile River to Assyria down the Euphrates. It is also the star system in which the towers in Giza are built in alignment with. But because they are in Kemet, the sorcery, the trickery, the deceit is to keep you thinking that it's somewhere else rather than where you actually see the megalithic stone evidence. You'll be thinking it's somewhere that space creatures. And that's the whole trick, is to think that, make you think that God is an extraterrestrial, some alien, some creature beyond the earth, when it is actually the divinity through your roots. The bright and morning star light, the spirit and the bride. The spirit, out of Egypt I call my son. Matthew 2. And he shall be called a Nazarene. Right? He had to have both of these lineage in him to be the whole one, the holy one, holistic, having the bloodlines of Ham, Shem, and Japheth, the Ashkenaz, the Nazarene. And those are quotes straight from Matthew 2:15. When Herod took the child and his bride, and they departed to Egypt and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the Lord through the prophet, saying, out of Egypt I call my son. That's the father aspect that's been hidden, the hidden one, the Series B, the hidden star. But the morning star, the one that's very, very present, that's the same chapter 2, Matthew 2, but verse 23. And he came to pass, and he came and dwelt in the city called Nazareth. Why? But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning over Judah instead of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. And being warned by God in a dream, he turned aside into the region of Galilee, and he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, he shall be called a Nazarene. The Holy One. Out of Egypt I call my son. That's the Spirit. The hidden one, Series B. Series A is the bright and morning star, the Star of David. There's a reason why he said, I am the root. The root is the Nile River. The foundation of civilization, Kemet, Cush, Kerma. But they changed the names. See, Cush, they switched the K to a C. Kerma is a port city between Egypt and Cush. Punt is to the south, Canaan is to the north. These are the sons of Ham. But the Ashkenaz are the son of Japheth. And Abram, he comes from the offspring of Shem. But the Assyrian and Babylon were connected by the Euphrates. These nations are one. Let us go down in there and confuse the language. You see, there's allegiance there. There's a union there that already exists. Abram and Sarah, not only were they husband and wife, but they were also sister and brother, related by their father, but their mothers were different. Prove all things, hold fast to that which is true. good. True. He confessed, Abraham, he confessed in Genesis 20, verse 12, when he said, "But indeed she is truly my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she has become my wife. And it has come to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said to her, This is your kindness that you should do for me. In every place where we go, say of me, he is my brother." So just like the Pharaoh in Genesis 12, Amalek, right, who was the king of Gerar, he took sheep, oxen, and male and female servants and gave them to Abraham, and he restored Sarah, his wife, right? So this trick not only confused and caused plagues in the places they went, but it also enriched Abraham. He was enriched by it, and they did this everywhere they went. In the last verse of that chapter, it says, "The Lord had closed up all the wombs of the house of Amalek because of Sarah, Abram's wife." You see, that was the same thing that happened in Egypt, right? In verse 12, in chapter 12, verse 17, right, where it says, "But the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. And the Pharaoh called to Abram and said, What is this you have done to me? Why did you tell me that she was your wife?" Because he's basically selling out his wife. Because what he's saying to them is that she's ineligible. She's eligible. She's beautiful. So he led with her being his sister because she's eligible if it's his sister. But if it's his wife, she's not eligible. So they're going to see him different. They're not going to be distracted by her beauty and her eligibility. Now it's pretty much business. It's a matter between them and him. And he feared what they would do because his contendance wasn't the same as theirs. He was a foreigner. He looked foreign. He looked like a leopard. Of course, there's details are not going to be told to you or taught or shown to you. Is even better, because you want to be shown, not told. You want to be able to see it for yourself. My next episode, I'm going to talk more about the black women of the Bible. From the Eye of Ra, which is the serpent goddess. She's the mother aspect who gave Eve the wisdom, who opened her eyes. Then you have Adonzilla. Nobody talks about Adonzilla, which are the two wives of Lamech, the second and third woman mentioned in the Bible, Naamah being the fourth. But then we also need to talk about Hagar and Keturah. Hagar bore Abraham his first child, Ishmael, and Keturah bore him 6 sons in Genesis 25. So these women are women of color. The foundation of these faith systems, right? They gave birth to the sons of Islam and Christianity, these Abrahamic faiths. So I think it's worth giving them some time in understanding. Not only that, Zipporah, the wife of Moses, who was a priestess, daughter of a priest. So it's a lot we can unpack. Tune in for more.